Hey guys, and welcome to episode 49 of Foot Manager 2015. What not? Well, Aston Villa. If you missed the last episode, please do check it out. It'll explain everything. But basically, in episode 48, we were sacked from Aston Villa. And it was really just completely and utter pointless sacking, really. Because it was for the lack of squad harmony within the team, which is pretty much bullshit. Um, like we were fifth in the league, we'd just beaten Chelsea 3-1 around 2 or 3 days after we got sacked. Again, as I say, not for performance based, but for squad harmony. Like, what sort of bullshit is that? But anyway, that was in the middle of October, and it's actually taken me a fair bit of time to get a new job. And we finally found one in with the likes of Everton, still in the Premier League, and they've seemed to be in a very consistent performer throughout this save, like 9th, 7th, 7th, 9th, 5th, 9th, 7th. So they actually haven't finished below 9th within yet in this save, which is quite a decent feat. We've only taken over in the 6th of January, so we've only been 2 days in charge. And today I'll be giving you like a squad overview alongside the tactical overview and our first game in charge of Everton, which is an FA Cup game, FA Cup third round at home to Stoke. Anyway, we are on Merseyside with Everton. I'm quite excited because Everton, due to the fact that they've got also, I do like them in real life, but also because they've got a few Irish guys on their team, Coleman, McCarthy, and McGeady, to name a few. It just makes me, I suppose, a little more interested than possibly a few other clubs. Same with Hull, because they've got a large Irish contingent as well, which is always good to see, well, from my point of view. But they're a good team. They're a good team, Everton. They are underachieving in real life, and they're underachieving in this season in game, sitting in 14th place. After 21 games, only 24 points. As you can see, though, it's only 9 points to 6. As you can see, Aston Villa, though, have gone from strength to strength since me departing. They made any transfers? No, they've any more outs? No, just a few on loan. Probably ones that I would have made myself. Yeah, they've had a good season. Who's doing well for them? Top scorer, Bonazo's got 17. Mendes and Boye got 9. Robertson's got 7 assists. Barkley and Grealish have 6 each. And average rating was Para, Balanta, Gutsa, Bonazzoli, all up there. Anyway, back to Everton, and let's start this kind of squad overview, I suppose. So the best player on paper in the team is this guy called Oliver, who seems to be an excellent player. He starts off the game on loan, I think, at Porto from Atletico Madrid. He went to City, then to Chelsea, then had a really good year at Stoke before Everton snapped him up for 8 million in the summer. And he's done okay. He hasn't been great though. He's one of these kind of guys who's gifted technically and also has plenty of vision and flair. As you can see, only 2 goals and 3 assists though from 21 games, which isn't the best. But hopefully, with the style of play I'm going to play, is going to really suit him. And the fact that he'll be playing as the advanced playmaker just behind the striker is going to really, hopefully, enhance his game. Like, I'm going to be using a tactical system quite similar to the one I used at Villa, and hopefully it can reap rewards as it did at Villa at certain times. But he'll be the main focal point of our creative side, and so he should be because he's an excellent player. 8 million, I think, well spent in the summer from Everton. James McCarthy is still there. He's going to be a great little box-to-box midfielder still for us, even though he's 31 years old. He's still got great stats, or great attributes even. His stats throughout the seasons have been quite decent as well. And one thing I have noticed though, while when I first perused the squad, is it is a very old squad, and that will be something we'll look to rectify. Next man, in terms of ability, is this guy Sead Kolasinac. Who's a Bosnia and Herzegovina international. 20 years old, he starts the game at Schalke He arrived at Everton this year for 2.6 million. Seems to have done a solid enough job. He can play a number of positions, which is always good to see. Mohamed Besic, another Bosnia man, he's still at the club. He starts the game, of course, at Everton. Rock solid defensive midfielder, can also fill in right back, centre back, and in centre midfield, which is quite good, quite versatile. Andre Blake is our number one keeper, and I have to say I've never heard of this guy before. But when I looked into his history, it turns out that he starts the game at Philadelphia over in the MLS. He went to Verona on a free, did quite well there, and Everton picked him up for 2.5 million. And I think he's been absolute steal at 2.5 million. Like, he's well worth that. Looking at his stats or looking at his attributes. Sorry, I always get those mixed up. He's only on 28 grand a week as well. But he is 31 years old. Again, another old player. But I suppose when it comes to a keeper, it doesn't really matter about age. It matters about ability. Sebastian Corchia, that's definitely somebody that I know. Somebody that most educated FM players will know. He's been around the block for ages as a fantastic right back, and also play left back and up the right hand flank. He arrived at Everton from PSG in this save for 6.5 million. Has done a solid job for 3 or 4 seasons now. Isaiah Brown will be leading the line for now. He's 25-year-old. He's an English international, 7 goals and 13 caps for England, which is always good to see. He starts the game at Chelsea. I think he's a little bit of a wonder kid. I don't think he's a full wonder kid, but he's a very good player. But it never really worked out for him at Chelsea in this save, and he went to Hull on a free transfer before Everton snapped him up 2 years ago for 10.25 million. And he's done a decent job since coming in, 11 and 29 in his first season, and 9 and 18 in his second. So his second season is turning out to be a little bit better. He's on 61 grand a week though, which is quite hefty, but hopefully he can do the job nonetheless. Marco Lavaja can play up front as a complete forward or behind the striker. He seems to be a decent player. Croatian international, starts the game at Rubin. Aaron Puente, who's actually the first regen that we've come across in this team. 22 years old. He looks a really handy player. Can play on both wings quite effectively. He's an under-21 international for Spain. He came out of the Espanyol youth intake in the first season, I think. And he was snapped up by Everton for just 1 million, which is cheap as chips, really. Fantastic stuff, and he seems to have been doing a solid enough job. We'll probably be giving him more games than the previous manager did. Another regen is Mick Ryan, who's an Irish regen, which is fantastic to see. He came out of the Port Vale youth intake though first year, and seems to have just been transported to Everton. He doesn't seem to be any fee there, but he hasn't really broken into the first team too much. Like, this is his first year in the first team. He's only scored 3 goals, so I suppose you can't look too highly into it, though he's only 23 years old. He looks a decent enough player to play, who can play up front and also on the wide right and just behind the striker. So nice and versatile as well. Diego Laxalt is going to be a backup left winger, can also play in centre mid, Uruguayan international, 28 years of age. Nikola Maximovic is a very handy, versatile player, can play all along the back line. Serbian international. He is a 30-year-old though, and he is out for 2 weeks, so he won't be playing today. Probably will start though a few games for me. Same with Brendan Galloway, 25 years old, England under-21 international. Seems a very solid player. I think he starts the game at Everton. I'm not sure whether he starts the game at Everton or he starts the game at MK Dons. I think at Everton. I think I heard that he signed for them. But anyway, last 3 or 4 seasons he's been a rock solid defender for them and hasn't disappointed. Ryan Ledson is still here. Of course, starts the game at Everton. He hasn't quite blossomed into the player that he might have been. I think speed has really gotten to him. He definitely isn't the quickest going. 24 years old, he is the club captain though, even at the age of 24. Leadership stats of 17, which is fantastic at that age. But yet, kind of doesn't really feature too much in the first team yet. Las Bangura, he's just going to be a backup winger. Will do the job on both wings, which is fantastic. Varazat Haroyan, who's already retired from international football despite only being 29 years old. An Armenian international. Looks actually rock solid. He starts the game at Pineyuk, and you can pick him up for cheapest chips. Really, only 27k you have to, but um, will get you him right at the start of the game. So, like, if he's going to turn into this, I would recommend that. Maybe he's a little bit of a hidden gem, which you can sometimes stumble across. But in this save, he seems to have turned out quite well. Luke Castellanos, or Castagnos, hasn't actually played this year and won't be playing this year. He signed for 10.75 million, but it seems to have been a huge flop, really. And he's also on 67 grand a week, which is just too much for a backup player. So we'll be looking to try and get rid of him. Julian Dessart, another backup player, can play just behind the striker. 28 years old, another pretty old guy. We might even look into selling him as well. Who's next? Federico Fernandez, who's at Swansea in real life. He's 32 years old now. He's old, he's getting on. He's got 35 caps for Argentina, though, which isn't too bad at all. He can still probably do a job at right back and centre back. Having had some very good years at Swansea. Everton picked him up for £1 million a year or two ago on game, and has been okay. And he'll be in and out of the team. Quado Asamoah, who's actually quite a big coup for Everton. He's there, 33 years of age though, so he's not a spring chicken no more. Went to Man U for 22 million, but then went to Everton for 1.7 million last year. Hasn't done much for them. He's just going to be a backup player, I think, but he's so versatile. He's quite a handy man to have around the team. We're nearly getting towards the end. Nasser Chadley's here. 32-year-old Nasser Chadley, only on 36.5 grand a week, which isn't actually too bad for those sort of guys who have come from a successful career at one club, which he did at Spurs, quite successful there. Went to Everton for 1.8 million. Hasn't really featured this year and probably won't under my management either. Same story really with Jorginho Wijnaldum, 31 years old. God, these guys are old. He came in for 3.5 million from Arsenal, who had bought him from PSV for 10 million. He's been actually quite solid, but has really been a substitute player this year, and will continue to be, I presume. And lastly, Ryan Wilkinson, who's actually a backup keeper, but looks a really good backup keeper, and we'll probably be giving him a few games here and there, possibly at the end of the season, if we're kind of squandering in mid-table or something. Because he looks a really good, talented English young keeper. It's fantastic. Coming through the Everton Youth Academy as well, which is always good to see. In terms of just quickly browsing over our under-21s and seeing do we have anyone, and we actually do. We have a few that are quite decent looking. Gavin Robinson, of 17 years old, he looks quite a decent player on the right, can also play up front. Kevin Brown, behind the striker and up front, he can play on loan at Wrexham. Looks a very good player. We'll need to give him a new contract, and we might actually do so now. Actually, he needs that to be sorted out, but we will be offering him a new deal. Matt Dance, left back and left midfielder. He looks a really fantastic player. Why is he out on loan at he's out on loan at Burnley in the Championship. He's absolutely ripping it to shreds. 7.6 average rating. Can't believe he's out on loan. That does not make any sense whatsoever. Same with this guy, Ashani Finley. Like, we have the players, we've just loaned them out. That is so ridiculous. I wonder, can we bring any of these guys back? Doesn't look like. Oh, we can. We can recall this guy from loan. Or will we? No, I think. Does the other guy have it? Please say he does. He does. So we're actually going to terminate Matt Dance's loan because we need him in the first team squad. He's an absolute tank. This guy will probably keep out on loan. Burnley, again, doing really well in the Championship, which is good to see. Burnley seem to be a feeder club of ours, which is quite handy. He'll probably come back at the end of the season to maybe something next year. Manuel, so known at Bristol City. He's not quite as good, but getting into the slightly weaker players, we won't go after that. Under 18s wise, just one guy, I think, Bob White, play on both wings and up front, 16 years old. I think it's too early to tell really with Bob, but I don't think he's quite going to make it. Anyway, financially the club isn't in a good situation at the moment, unfortunately. We are 14 million in the loss, and we're projected to make actually 3 million by the end of the year, which will give us an 11 million loss, which isn't great, but nonetheless, suppose we got to deal with. We only have 2.97 million, so I don't know what sort of investments we'll be looking at, but it'll probably be for those younger type players and possibly maybe a loan or two um, in this January transfer window, just to euthanize the team. But actually, when you look at the under 21s, there's plenty of people that could euthanize the team, but they've loaned them all out, which is just absolutely stupid. Also, Kevin Morales is still here. I've just stumbled across him. He's retiring at the end of the year. That's a pity because he's a good player in real life, Kevin Morales, and looks to be a great servant for them on this game. Now, tactically, as I said before, we're looking to build a style of play which is similar to that we used at Aston Villa. So we've got Andre Blake in goal. This is going to be actually the starting lineup for the Stoke game at home here. We've got Andre Blake in goal. Back four, Corchia, Harayan, Fernandez, and Kolasinac. That's what we're going to go for. Besic and McCarthy as the middle two. Puente on the left. Oliver playing behind the striker. Ryan on the right with Isaiah Brown up top. And I think we might as well get into this game and see what we can do here at Goodison Park. First game in charge, so should be pretty tasty. Let's see what we can do. They're playing quite a defensive formation, 4-1-4-1, with a defensive midfielder and everything. We're also going to have a look, see at some stage, I'll probably do it pretty soon off camera, about the staff situation, see what we can do. Maybe we'll be able to bring in Roy Keane, keep him alongside us. I doubt it, because he actually wasn't even the best assistant manager, so we probably won't go in for Roy. I don't think he'd even come to us, though. Well, I doubt if he did. But anyway, we started off our first game in charge of Everton Football Club here in this. Say it's in 2022 or something, so this is actually my 340th game in charge or something along those lines. There's Besic Puente. Oh, what a goal to start my tenure in charge of Everton. And Puente, one of the few youngsters who's been actually given a sniff in this team, has produced a thing of brilliance. That's what Spanish players can do. And that is a fantastic start and an early goal. Here's Oliver. That's away. Corchia, though, can collect. And back to Kolasinac. Back to Corchia. Besic. McCarthy. Harayan. Oh no. He gets away with that. McCarthy finds Oliver now. Oliver, we're really looking to be the main kind of playmaker of our team. And that's fantastic from Puente. A little threading the ball through, but Mick Ryan blazes that wide. A poor enough effort from Mick Ryan, actually. Probably should have done a little better. Got to take into consideration also this is a cup game, though, so I'm trying to give people like Ryan and Puente a game in the team. More games, because the more games, the better they'll become, and the more their development will be aided. Besic now, here's Puente. Kolasinac, Besic, McCarthy, Isaiah Brown just gets onto it. Here's Puente. He's going to take on another shot. He does! What? He is on fire! What a magnificent goal from Aaron Puente. Jeez, have you seen anything as much in the top drawer than that is? That is right in the top bin, and it is 2-0. But the game can't keep us that happy, so they're going to injure Mick Ryan for us. And we're going to bring on Jorginho Wijnaldum. He's really the only guy who can really play on the... Well, he's probably the best of the guys that can actually fulfill that role on the right wing. We're probably going to take off Mick Ryan at some stage anyway, because he wasn't performing too great. But hopefully that isn't a severe injury, though, because I will be looking to use Mick Ryan. And also, I'm a little biased towards the Irish, but he does actually look quite good. And I think if groomed the right way and nurtured the right way, he can become a quite handy little right winger and possibly even a guy to put on up front. But in terms of, from my point of view, this game has really gone according to the script so far. But this could all change if Parika can do something here. Finds Falk, back to Billing, El Neni, Watkins. Oh no, in behind to Parika, but a good save from Blake in goal. First time he's really been tested in this game though. But it's quite an easy save to make, but he did so nonetheless. Going to make a change. We're going to bring off Oliver and bring on Marco Lavaja, because Oliver is looking a bit jaded. And as one of our key players, oh, no, is that even possible? Georgina Wijnaldum now has picked up an injury, so the substitute now picked up an injury. We're going to have to bring on Las Bangura, and that means for now we're going to have to actually keep Oliver on the pitch, because I'm concerned that if we sub Oliver off right now, that it's going to be some injury to somebody else and we'll be left with 10 mil. I'll probably make the change in around 80 minutes. I'll see how it is. Las Bangura now has picked up a big knock, and he's off the field of play for this highlight. Here's Parike. If they score now, this is really going to make the last 10 minutes here quite dicey, and they've done so. But it's offside. That is fine. I was thinking I was extremely poor defending if he just found so much space inside the box at that stage. As Marco Lavaja is going to come on now for Oliver. As I said before, Oliver is one of our best players, so we've got to try and make sure we monitor his games as much as possible, so that he doesn't get a long-term injury like some of the others might. We can't really afford him to go, and also the club can't. We like the club obviously put a lot of money into him. 8 million for this club, especially in the financial state that we're in, is actually a lot of money. And that was a really good win, and a nice solid win to start off my career here at Everton. A 2-0 win with Aaron Puente scoring a brace, and we are comfortably through to the FA Cup 4th round, which is ideal because I'd like to get a little bit of a run here. This is a good way to start as well. Wijnaldum is out for 5 to 6 weeks, so the injuries start, and here is Matt Dans, who is back here, and he is now going. Who's he learning from actually? Let's have a look. Can we see? By Nikola Maximovic, who's injured, but he's been tutored already, Matt Dance. But anyway, he'll be probably featuring a few times. Like, who actually played at left back again? That game was Kolasinac. But he could possibly push over into centre back and Matt Dance, so Matt Dance can play at left back. We'll have to look into that more at some stage. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Try and keep supporting the series, really do. I know some of you will be a bit heartbroken, like myself, because I'm a Villa supporter. I wanted to keep Villa going and for Villa to go all the way, but obviously it wasn't meant to be for now. But for now, we've got to put our effort and time into Everton, which I think could become a really exciting little challenge for us. And one that I'm looking forward to trying and executing. Have we played Villa twice this year? I'm not so sure. No, we've got Villa right at the end of the season in 16th February. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to come back for the Spurs game on the 5th of February. So, if you enjoyed this video, as I said before, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys later.